What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Filsinger Games Character Spotlight with Mike and Brock.
Mike,
And I'm Brock, and tonight we're going to continue through CPC 2108 with Twin Blood, Dreggs, and Sleeze.
this is more Jeremy Sue's art,
Mm-hmm.
and he made them look uh, more of a tag team.
Yes.
Still following the motif of spiky and armor pads from the Road Warriors, and then
Very, very 90s.
yeah,
90s comic influence too.
yeah, you get the same haircut.
But they look alike in the face.
That's probably why they're twins.
Mm-hmm.
More paternal than fraternal, I think.
Paternal. But yeah. Updates for both of these guys. But it had been a while since Dreggs had had a card. He hadn't had a card since 2094.
Yeah,
But Sleaze just had one in 2103. So he's a recent update.
yep.
Um, I'm sorry, Sleaze dropped in singles and tag on his raw rating. Went from a 35.54 to a 24.51.
Really, he
So
dropped.
so big drop in singles and a slight drop in tag. Dreggs, on the other hand, upgraded in both. He went from a 37.49 to a 44.53.
Ooh,
So pretty good bump for Dregs and a little bit of a downgrade for Sleaze.
I thought they both would have got an upgrade. Let's start off with Mr. Sleaze.
Sleaze, there he is. Trying to get in focus here. Come on, you can do it, Sleaze. There he is. Really liking the Jeremy Sue art in this set.
Yeah, it's a little different. It's kind of the anime style.
Yeah, comic influence I see. Probably he's probably the most comic influence I think we had at the to this point.
Yeah.
But this is Sleaze. He's got straight A's in his charts except for his ring rating is a B. -3 agility, +1 power. Uh 5-2 pin with a 4 cage. He's got a pretty awesome level 3 offense. He's got an add one move with a tag and two tag finishers. Seeing double is a tag finisher, and twice bitten is also a tag finisher, a 0 and a +2. So he's got a 50-50 shot on level 3 offense there to throw a token on you at least.
Yeah.
And that add
Um,
one move often turns into an add two move
yeah.
if you get the guy to roll their pin. But
I'm just gonna oh, go ahead.
his biggest weakness is he only has one level 3 move on level 2 offense.
Yeah. But usually what happens on a lot of tag guys,
Hmm.
they're weak on level two. Tom makes it like that, so it forces them to tag in.
Hmm. Yeah, you
It's
want to bring
rare
him on 3 and
because a lot of
Dregs on
guys,
level 2.
the person who's good on level three is also the person who's good on level one, and his
Hmm.
partner's good on level two.
Yeah. Dregs is definitely really good on level 2.
What made that's what made Vigilante different because he was the guy you put on two and three.
Hmm.
Soldier of Fortune started off because he had like Billy Club down three on number one. So he could put you down and then you tag out to bring in uh, Vigilante. But this team works the same way. You got one guy start on one, uh, Drakes comes in on two, and then Sleeves comes in on three.
Do you want to take a guess how many tags Sleaze has on his card?
Seven.
8. He has 3 on level 1 and 2, and then 2 on level 3. So yeah, I mean, he's getting out of there if he gets into trouble. I mean, he's definitely easy to get out of there. So his defense is solid. He doesn't have a lot of reversals, but he's got a ton of tags.
Yeah. And who had, I can't remember who they said who had the most tags.
I don't know if I've
Oh,
ever seen more than this.
I think it might have been Mitsuko.
Okay.
He had a crazy amount as well.
This is eight. Eight is a lot. That's almost 50-50.
Yeah. Because you have 18, subtract your pin, you have 17. You throw in a name. How many names do you have?
Two. One on one and one on two.
You got 15. So he's got a better than a 50-50 odd.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's all about the numbers, people.
His offense really isn't, I mean, other than his level three is amazing, but
Yeah.
one and two, nothing too spectacular there. He only has one power and agility check on his entire card too. Well, one of each. He's got,
Yeah.
I guess that's fairly standard for the time. They started adding more later. But yeah, he's definitely the one you want to bring in on level three. And but I mean, even Dreg, when we get to him, he's got a double finisher too.
Yeah.
They're singles finishers though.
Still good.
Hmm.
It's a double finisher.
Yep. But with
But
the ad one on here, that's like it's pretty impressive.
let me do the dramatic reading.
All right.
Debuting, I'm going to start right after the beginning, though. Debuting as Metalhead in 2099, Dreg's twin caused quite a stir when he chose not to side with his brother on war instead. For several years, the two fought battles against each other, mostly in tag team competition, with the New Order facing off against Extermination, Metalhead and Sleaze, and Grunge. When War lost their sudden death feud to the Gladiators in 2106, though, Johnny Rocket snatched up Dregs from an increasingly bickering war team. In fact, Rocket's efforts went so overboard that it offended Grunge, blew off the Rocket Men to team with Mace in a bizarre switcheroo. Twin Blood has become a force in recent years, earning the tag belts 4 times. This leads his excellent double teaming skill, providing the margin of victory in many a contest. They helped Rocketman's revenge to the sudden death in 2114. Okay, stop there. Yeah, 4-time tag team champions.
Hmm. I mean, they're solid. I like how they didn't immediately team together either. Like it took them a while. 4 years.
And see, in my Fed, they've never been in the same Fed together.
Okay, that makes
They
sense then.
they just got there now. Um, Sleaze and Metalhead just finally, won enough that they moved up to the GWF, but they're still not teaming together.
Hmm.
But I did make them good guys, and my plan is um because he's what's his name before? He's Metalhead, right?
Yeah, Metalhead and Sleeves are the same guy.
Yeah. So Grunge, I'm because they're not winning. They're overpowered in the GWF because it's the top, right? It's the top guys.
Yeah.
So they're getting overpowered. So I'm going to have Grunge just, I'm going back. Just turn on him and leave him, just abandon him. And so his brother will come and save him.
Well, it's cool because Grunge starts teaming with Mace this year.
Yeah.
So they could switch tag partners basically, which is kind of neat.
I don't know how that could be interesting because they both have tag finishers in,
Hmm.
but I know I'm not doing that.
Grunge and Mace.
And then what do we got for, since we don't power creep second cards, what do we got for
Here's
Drag?
Dregs. Now his card is pretty good. He's got three straight level three moves on level two. No choices or anything. They're cutting straight through. He's got a double finisher. They're both zeros, but still, it's a double finisher. He's also got straight A's on his charts, except for the B and ring. -3 agility, +1 power, 4-1 pin, cage rating of 2. Both these guys have a DQ of 4, so they don't get DQ'd a lot.
So
He's
that makes him
got
really, really good at cheating.
mhm. He's got 6 tags on his card.
14 tags between the two of them.
hmm 3 comebacks or reversals. Um, his tag and his leave are separated on level 3 defense, so you could either leave or tag out. So yeah, these guys, they're they're top tier together, especially.
They're a force to be reckoned with.
hmm I think they'd even hold up in today's GWF. I think we already mentioned his raw rating, but I'll say it again. Dreggs went from a 37.49 to a 44.53, so pretty good bump.
So in the dramatic reading, about halfway down through his biography, says Mace's increasingly difficult personality led to the dissolution of the team following war's humiliating defeat and subsequent 1 year banishment of the 2106 mini sudden death feud against the Gladiators. Johnny Rocket sensed an opportunity to reunite Dreggs with his brother Sleaze and thus inked the deal in 2108 to form Twin Blood, a very synchronized and team oriented duo who won the tag belts 4 times. Their success would prove to be useful to the Rocket Men's revenge team in beating Brimstone Burning during the sudden death feud in 2114. So they stay as a while.
Yeah,
As and they go back to feuding the Gladiators there.
cool. Yeah, this is
So
Dreggs' final card. I think Sleaze gets one more card after this. No, this is Sleaze's final card too, so this is their farewell. But they have a pretty good run with them.
I'm not sure
Um,
when Dreggs retires because the book ends in 2115, so he's still
he
wrestling.
retired in 2115 was his last year, so he was done
Okay.
after that. And then I believe Sleaze was as well. Yeah, Sleaze finished in 2115 as well.
Okay.
So pretty,
They stay a tag team for quite a while then.
yeah, yeah. The final year, I guess they feud each other again? I don't know. We'll have to see. But but yeah, definitely a solid tag team. There's not many brother tag teams in GWF. That's such a thing in like the real world of wrestling, even if they're fake brothers.
Yeah.
The brother tag team's a pretty popular trope. But I'm trying to think, is there another one in the GWF? There's gotta
You had
be.
Alpha Force and Star Warrior.
hmm
Um,
They were singles guys first, though.
yeah, but they still did tag team.
hmm
I think they were called Coat of Arms or something like that. I can't remember, but I never used them as a tag team.
Might be a little
Um,
overkill there. I'm trying to think. I can't think of any other ones. There's got to be more, though.
were Archon and Crossfire brothers,
Let's
or
see.
were they just buddies?
I think they were just buddies. Let's see. Let me pull up. I think there's a
What
family tree thing on here.
what about Rack and Ruin?
Let's see. I got the GWF family trees here. Dreggs and Sleeze. Crossfire and Switchblade were brothers.
Town and Raven are related.
Vision and Stormchild are sisters. That's all that's listed here.
I know Town and Raven are cousins, I think.
I think so. Let me see if that's it wasn't listed on the family trees. Let's see. Yeah, they're cousins.
Yeah, because they teamed up as the Birds of Prey.
Yeah. But yeah, there's not you think there would be more than that, especially how common that is in real life wrestling.
Yeah, but not everybody's Samoan.
Right. Well, there's a lot of brother tag teams. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe I'll make a brother tag team as my next bootleg.
Brother Ducks.
There you go. I do have some more ducks. Well, they're nowhere near ready to go. I have artwork for a couple more ducks. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, more ducks are going to happen.
I
It's going
just
to
have
be
to
a
figure.
flock.
Yeah, it's a battling.
The Battling Wrestling Federation.
A whole fed of ducks. No, stop me. Oh, I'm wearing a. I didn't. I'm wearing some duck merch. Available at
Yeah.
brocksterbuilds.com.
And every so often they got to pause while they all fly south.
Mm-hmm. Actually, like I'll spoil it. I don't care. That actually it fits in with one of the new ducks. I think I have him here. I don't know if I might have shown this on this show before. I don't know. But this guy's name, he's just going to be the migrator. He's got his backpack. He's just a traveling duck.
Duck for hire as well.
Maybe it could be like a. The only name I have right now is migrator. Maybe I'll call him migration duck or something. I don't know. Migrator it seems funny. It's just blatantly to the point. But
If you think of a better name, put it in the
put it in
comments.
the comments. But yeah, that's that. Maybe he'll be one of the other Ducks brothers.
Yeah. Long lost nest brother.
Yeah. Now he's just going to be a regular duck that lands in that enchanted pond that gave them all their humanoid appearance and stuff. So he was just migrating south, took a little pit stop, saw a body of water.
Yeah, but with this drag, I'm like I said, that's the one good thing about being behind is I can see where the story arcs go, so I'm not
Hmm.
surprised,
Right.
and I can, because I don't follow the stories. I like to make my own, which is the one good thing about this is the one thing. Okay, as we said, we're going to do our GWF memories thing, but going to the conventions and then talking to people and seeing how differently they use people or their different experiences with guys.
Right. Because everybody has their favorites and they're going to push their favorites.
Yeah, they have favorites. They have uh, some people will follow the book, some don't.
Hmm.
Some will follow it partially.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to fill in for a tag partner and it just sticks, and
Yep.
you have this whole story that you can run with that.
And uh, I admire, especially when it comes to booking. Everybody's got their own booking style, so you can learn that from other people. Like the uh, the Legends guys have some of them have crazy detailed booking because on how they run it like a real Fed. And if
Right.
somebody loses, they lose their title shots,
Hmm.
and they only wrestle one Fed, but they keep they might have 40 guys in a Fed, and every 3 months they rotate out 20 guys
Hmm.
because that's how territories worked back then.
Right. Makes sense. And you got to keep the Fed size down, especially with legends. Like you have hundreds of guys now.
Yeah,
You can only have so many top guys in a Fed, and then it just becomes 50-50 booking all the time. Because if everybody's at the same level,
yeah.
that's where I struggle with legends. Is just like balancing the Fed.
Like I have a legend Fed picked out. of
Hmm.
40 guys. I think 40 is a nice round number.
40 is a
It's
good
a good
number.
even number
Yeah.
because most indie shows I've always been on, there's between 8 and 10 matches.
Hmm.
If there's 2, 3 tag matches sometimes,
Yeah.
so you end up with 20 guys on a card.
Hmm.
24. They'll throw in a battle royal. You know, everybody can get on.
Yeah. I like to keep my fight cards to about 10. I try and do at least two tag matches, two women's matches, and then the rest are just singles matches or special matches and stuff.
Yeah. So, like I said, it works out. But like in the first couple, conventions, that's the one thing Tom would do. He'd go to everybody and ask how they're doing in their Fed because he
Hmm.
really wanted to know.
Yeah,
He was interested, and he would take notes because it would give him ideas down the line. And that's where some of the game ideas came from because
hmm,
everybody's got some people got great ideas.
they do. They do. Yeah, Tom was the first person I met at GalactiCon. Well, after Gene. So my dad and I rolled up, and we were the first ones there on Saturday morning. We didn't know we were supposed to go, so we just kind of just wandered into the Sheldon house because we weren't even sure we were at the right place. And then we ran into old Gene, who was the caretaker there, and he was not happy that we were there 5 minutes before the con was supposed to start.
This is the weird thing is I was at every con. I never met Gene.
You never met Gene?
I never met Gene. I met the lady who came after him.
Hmm.
I can't remember her name.
I don't think I ever met her.
She was an incredibly nice lady. She made me breakfast one day. I came down early and she was like, "Would you like something to eat?" Sure.
Yeah. They
She's like,
live there, right?
"Yeah." So when you went up the top of the steps, there was one big room, then there was another big room, and then there was three smaller rooms, and then there was a room at the end. So
Hmm.
they stayed at the room at the end.
Okay.
That's where they lived. And the three smaller rooms were pretty small rooms, just
Hmm.
basically you know, 20 by 10 room.
Hmm.
Not very big, just had a bed and a chair and a small little round table and a bathroom. But Tom got them cheap for people. There was like $30 a
Yeah.
night or something like that.
Hmm.
I stayed there at the Sheldon House, I think twice. I stayed with me and my traveling air mattress.
Nice.
Stayed with Bobby and them up in the Sheldon House.
I never stayed at the Sheldon House. A lot of the Jamestown cons, I would just come up for Saturday
Yeah,
because it's not that far of a drive for me. So I was able to, it wasn't that big of a chore to come up and leave the same day. I did that for a lot of the Jamestown ones. In
yeah.
fact, this past year I did that.
I enjoyed coming. Uh, it's funny when you meet you can hang out with people there and have a completely different uh like when I was in Iowa, I've never sat with I'm trying to remember his name, Brian can't remember his name right now, but he's been to a couple and he's a regular on the board. But there's Pete Beck, um Nick Lazaro, Brian, Pete Fusco, and I think Mike Molesky. We're just all sitting at a table, but we've never sat with some of these. I've talked, but I haven't really talked to Nick.
Hmm.
But he's now showing up for two cons, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm coming," and Brian was there, and I've never sat with Brian. I was like, "Hey, let's sit down. You're part of our group." And then one of the brothers came in. He's a current pro wrestler, and I can't remember his name as well. But he's wrestled.
Hmm.
And we sat with him, and me and him traded different stories on stuff. And he's helped do some booking, I've helped do some booking. So we just talked about that. It's just getting a different view on people who you meet. Like some guys have never met except online.
Hmm.
Now hey, you get a chance to put a face to a name.
Right, right. It's more community than anything for me, Galacticon. Like I enjoy playing the game with other people because I must exclusively play by myself. So that's always fun to just roll up some matches.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's just more just catching up than anything. I'm looking forward to, flying solo this year at the con too. Instead of have like my family's traveling with me. I'm sure they'll make an appearance and say hi to everybody, but it will be nice to just enjoy the con more.
like I'll look forward to. I know some people are going to sell some stuff there
Hmm.
or do some giveaways.
Yep, I have a giveaway to bring. I was gonna do a full set, but I just can't afford to to do a full set right now. So it's
It can get expensive. Even a giveaways can be expensive.
yeah.
Hey, $40 to $80 just to hand out in cost.
Yeah, printing, especially color printing, is not cheap. Not cheap at all. But I'm trying to do something fun with. I know we have plans to talk about these things later, but just trying to do a different look for the card, where I'm gonna do like trying to make it look like an old treasure map. So it's gonna be like the classic card design, not the modern card design, but I'm gonna make it look like it's on parchment paper, like it's a treasure map. I'll see if I can pull it off. If it looks stupid, I'll just do it black and white, but or maybe a different color card stock like I did Halloween Hank.
Yeah, but it that's one of those things where you know when somebody gives me a card, it's like, oh, how'd you come up with this? That's usually like my idea.
Mhm.
If you get a second, and that's the toughest thing too. You come in the door and people just start handing you stuff, and you're like,
You
can I
forget
have
who gave you
something?
what.
Yeah, I forget who gave me what. Can I have some time just to come in? Like
Hmm.
last year, I showed up and I think it was Todd was offloading his car.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, everybody start grabbing stuff and help bring it in.
Hmm. It was pouring down rain.
Yeah, nobody wanted to help poor Todd, but we got all the stuff in.
Hmm.
So and that's one of the things. And you meet the guys, and uh, when I'm and when I was in Iowa, I saw Chad just walking, through the arena. I'm like, Chad, like he was just so far off in a daze because he was so busy because he's doing the Hall of Fame stuff, he's
Right.
doing the Galacticon stuff, and he was like, oh my God, I didn't even see you. Like he was, a foot from me, but he was just
Yeah,
off.
he was in the zone.
But and I've said this before, just meeting different people. Like there are some guys that will pop up in a convention only once or twice.
Hmm.
Like there was a guy, Angel, that showed up one year, and I just
Hmm.
remember his name because his name was Angel.
Yeah.
There was another guy. He was an older gentleman. Uh, he was in his 60s when he showed up, and he created a ring announcer.
Oh yeah.
Like this is Galacticon like 5,
Hmm.
and he feuded Renner Beguile.
That's cool.
He made a it was a bad card, on purpose, but it
Yeah.
was all written out.
Hmm.
It's handwritten, the
I used
back.
to
So,
love getting those. Like I have all that stuff. Like it's all packed away in the attic. Every once in a while I'll dig through it and just look at the stuff, but it's amazing the amount of stuff that I've acquired throughout the years at Galacticon.
the guy's name was Foghorn something
Hmm.
because he was the ring announcer, and him and Renner Beguile would have, he made a feud because Renner was a horrible card,
Uh-huh.
and so yeah, it was a feud.
That's
Renner
fun.
just kind of on the nerves, and he made a ring announcer for it, and he went into great discussions. Like he was, I might have been 20 years old, and this guy's 60 in his 60s discussing this game that he grew to really enjoy.
Hmm.
and he brought his wife with him, and she just sat and knitted.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Like it's I do enjoy the new people that turn up. Just like to ask them how they found the game and stuff like that. Because like with no PWI anymore, it's like usually it's just word of mouth or wrestling conventions. Like the guys will have the cards, like the indie guys have the cards on their tables and stuff like that.
Well, PWI is still around. You can still buy it.
Yeah, but I don't think they're advertising it anymore.
That I do not know.
I don't know. There's no newsstands around me that carry it. I'd pick it up if I saw it, probably just to see what's going on in
I got a friend who still buys it.
it.
He has it ordered in through Chapters.
Nice.
He's went in and he's like, "Hey, can you order me this?" And they're like, "Yep." He picks up his PWI from a Chapters every month.
I'm sure if I went to like a Barnes and Noble or something, it's probably there.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah.
that's one of my buddies. He's shown up. My buddy Craig has shown up to two conventions
I remember him.
just to talk pro wrestling with people. He does not care about the game. I've tried to introduce. He doesn't even care about the Legends part of the game.
I remember I was in the trivia contest, and the question that I got eliminated on was name. You had to eliminate like or name like five of the guys on the cover of the box because it was when the box edition came out, and I routed off. He's like, "You got everybody on the back." He's like, "You didn't get one from the front." But you got the whole back. I was like, "I'm sorry." He was so disappointed. I remember that. That was funny.
Yeah, it's fun, and how we can, because we've gotten to be such friends with each other, we can take little pot shots at each other,
Hmm.
and nobody takes any offense to it.
No.
Like it was Kevin Butcher and was it Kevin Butcher and Thomas Keane? One time they're just standing there. I'm like, hey, it's the Roly Poly Belly Club, and they're like, you didn't even say hi first. Or when we're drawing names for the uh, the GWFZ,
Hmm.
and Rob Bomian draws a name, and he goes, "Hey, it's my girlfriend," and you yell out, "Congratulations, Brett!" Oh, I could not stop laughing. I was just and I know that bothered um, Brett and Rob, but I could not stop. No, like it wasn't funny. Wasn't that funny? Oh yeah, yeah, it was.
Uh, I'm
See, you're
sorry.
giggling about it now, but yeah, it's funny. And then, but yeah, like we said last week, and we're going to say this week too. If you watch it, just try to make it out to one of them.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll change your mind about the game.
Hmm. And it's always fun.
Yep.
And everything's
I
going to be
don't think
kind of
I've ever met a
contained.
person who's had a bad. Well, I hate it. Ain't coming back.
Yeah, yeah. I can't think of anybody.
No. And you meet people from all walks of life.
Yeah.
Like you meet guys like myself who have done indies. You have retired U.S. Air Force colonel. You have doctors. You have accountants.
Hmm.
You have people that work for colleges and universities. You yourself, work for a school in the, IT department basically. And,
Hmm.
you know, Jim works at a Walmart, and, everybody's got a different, and no one looks down on anybody. No one's
No.
like, oh, well, because Dave's a doctor, his opinion's more, value more than mine because he's a doctor. No,
Nope.
everybody's on level playing ground there.
Hmm. And it's awesome. It's pretty cool. Like you don't find that other places, honestly. The
No.
community, I think, is the best part about this game.
Yep. Hands down.
I'll
And
keep saying that.
I remember, and I even talked to Tom about this once, and I said, if it wasn't for Mark Ashby making the convention, this game would have folded a long time ago.
Hmm. I don't think I would have kept my interest through all these years.
And Tom agreed with me.
Hmm.
He said, yeah, Mark was the one, if because this is what also keeps Tom going.
Hmm. Like I would get burnout all the
Yep.
time, and then I'd get my GalactiCon recharge. I'd go talk to people and get excited and like, oh, I'm gonna try that when I get home, and like, all it would recharge me every time. It make me want to play more.
Yep. I do
So,
that about 2 months before and about 2 months after.
uh-huh.
Play a bunch, and then during the year, I might play 2 or 3 cards in the year.
Hmm.
But
You
it's
get
a
your
buildup.
GalactiCon recharge.
Yep. You're doing it. I got to have new stuff to talk about.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I
it's
want to,
it's it's fun. Yeah, definitely. If you're on the fence whether or not to come out, or if you're in the Baltimore area, or that whole like even from like if you from Philly to I don't know Atlanta.
yeah, I don't, I can honestly say I don't know my U.S. geography.
Hmm.
I know Baltimore's on the East Coast.
Yeah. Yep. So it's not a bad trip for me. It's about a 4 or 5 hour drive from me. We drive that we take that trip off. We take that trip often, so it's one that we're pretty familiar with because, like I said, we have family out there. So,
Yeah. So I have no problem doing the 8 hours. I'm gonna hopefully I can get my wife to come down with me.
hmm,
Could we go to Ottawa and back in the same day, which is a 12-hour round trip?
yeah.
So doing a 16 hour, an 8 hour, that shouldn't be a big deal.
Mm-mm.
Leave
I've
at like
done
six.
Maryland and back in one day before. My brother-in-law graduated from police academy, and we drove down and back the same day. Wasn't too bad. I'm in Pittsburgh, so I'm fairly close, but it's a diagonal trip for me. I go southeast the whole way.
Do I have to go through Pennsylvania?
Yes,
I hate driving through Pennsylvania.
it's very
Cops there are
boring.
the worst.
I live here. And it's boring. There's nothing to see. If you're not on the well, you'll get to see like no, you probably will miss Philadelphia. They won't take you through there. We got Pittsburgh and Philadelphia bookending Pennsylvania, and there's nothing in the middle. So yeah, we
But
should probably wrap this one up. We'll keep talking some Galacticon memories the next couple weeks here. Hopefully get you guys excited for the con. But
yeah, we'll
it's
try.
coming up here quick. It's this month, so
Yeah, we'll try to have some special guests on in between here and there to
hmm,
also, talk about Galacticon.
yeah, good stuff. So yeah, if you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Also, while you're here, scroll on down to the description below where you'll find our friends who make Filsinger Games related content, including the official Filsinger Games podcast roll up, the Legends team's Uncharted Territory, Dizzy Dice from Lee Lamprey, solo promoter from Grant Pachoco. Grant is also here on YouTube. You'll find Dave Little's Heartland Championship Wrestling here as well. After further review, Brad plays 81 and Bucky749 doing Filsinger Games related content. I am on Twitch sporadically running my bootleg fed Next Dimension Wrestling. You'll find a link to that below, as well as my website where you can check out my bootleg cards. That's down below, or buy a duck shirt. These are made to order, so I can't really like have them available, but it's a quick turnaround. Anyway, that's there. Check all that out, and we will see you next time, everybody. Have a great week.
I know.
Later.